Well, we'll now move on to salute to the sun. It's a series of postures. They are very demanding. They will take practice to improve. Observe as we demonstrate and use your regular practice to work on the postures until you perfect them, which you will do in your own good time. Let's begin with the feet the distance of the hips, the hands in prayer. For the first movement, you stretch the arms up and away, looking up, arching your back, relaxing your shoulders. Then you stretch forwards into the hands, all the way down, and rest the fingertips on either side of the feet. Then you step backwards onto the toes of your right foot. So you come into a lunge. Look up, arch the back. Rest the palms flat down on either side of the left foot. Take the left foot back, slightly away from the right, and lower your hips. Arch the back. Look up. Take the hips up, stretch up onto the toes, let your head lower between your arms, work your heels down, work your heels down, stretch. Come up onto your toes and bring your hips down, resting on your hands and toes, arch your back. Come forwards with your left foot onto the toes. Arch your back, resting on the fingertips. And then if you stand up and give your legs a good stretch. And then stretch all the way up. And bring the hands into prayer. Let's try this now. This time we'll take the left leg back first of all. Hands in prayer, exactly the same. Remember to take deep breaths. Stretching up and back, arching the back, looking up. Folding forwards from the lower back, bringing the fingertips down. This time come back with your left foot onto the toes and arch the back. Rest the palms down on either side of the right foot. Come back with the right foot onto the toes and lower the hips. Look up with your eyes. Come up onto the toes, lower your head in between your arms. Work your heels down. Relax your head. Come up onto the toes and arch your back. Look up. This time we'll bring the right foot forwards onto the toes, resting on the fingertips and the toes of the right foot. Looking up. Standing up. Giving the legs a good stretch. And then stretching all the way up and arching back. And the hands into prayer. Wow. Strong and dynamic.
I feel good. I feel like we should do that again.
I think we should definitely do that again. Exactly the same. You have a try at home. Standing with the feet the distance of the hips, the hands into prayer. Stretching up and arching back. Folding forwards, the body folding all the way down against the legs. Resting the fingertips on the floor on either side of the feet. Coming back with the right foot onto the toes, arching the back. The hands flat down. Coming back with the left foot onto the toes, lowering the hips, looking up with the eyes. Coming up onto the toes and lowering the heels, the head relaxing in between the arms. Coming up onto the toes, arching the back, looking up with the eyes. Bringing the left foot forwards onto the toes, resting on the fingertips, looking up. Standing up, giving the legs a good stretch. Stretching all the way up and arching back. And the hands into prayer. One more time.
One more for good luck.
One
Come on.
more.
We can do this.
Stretching up and arching back. Stretching forwards. Body folded against the legs. Resting the fingertips on the floor on either side of the feet. Lunging back onto the toes of the left foot, arching the back. The hands flat down on either side of the right foot. Taking the right foot back to the left on the toes, lowering the hips. Looking up with the eyes. Stretching up onto the toes, lowering the heels, head relaxed. Coming up onto the toes and arching the back. This time coming forwards with the right foot. Onto the toes of the right foot, in between the fingers, arching the back. Standing up, giving the legs a good stretch. Stretching all the way up and arching back. And hands into prayer.